Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling the single most critical and, frankly, the most overlooked foundation of any successful AI initiative, and that's the quality of your data. Now, I know it might not sound as flashy as some super sophisticated algorithm, but as you're about to see, it's the one thing that will absolutely make or break your entire AI strategy. Okay, let's get into it. Let's start with a number that should really grab your attention. $3.1 trillion. Yeah, according to IBM, that is the staggering annual cost of poor data quality for businesses, just in the US. And here's the real kicker. As everyone rushes to adopt AI, this massive cost, it's on track to get amplified, turning what used to be small data errors into truly catastrophic business failures.
You know, we've all heard that old saying, garbage in, garbage out. Well, in the age of AI, this isn't just some catchy phrase anymore. It's a fundamental law of physics for this technology. You could have the most powerful, most expensive AI model on the entire planet, but if you feed it flawed, incomplete, or biased data, you're going to get flawed, incomplete, and biased results. It really is that simple and that serious.
So first up, we're going to dig into what we're calling AI's unstable foundation. We'll explore exactly why data integrity isn't just a nice-to-have. It's the absolute non-negotiable bedrock of any AI strategy that actually works.
Think about it like this. Your company is investing millions, maybe more, in building this shiny, state-of-the-art AI skyscraper. But if the ground underneath it, your data, is basically quicksand, that entire expensive structure is at risk of just collapsing. This really captures the massive strategic risk a lot of companies are taking right now, focusing on the fancy AI architecture while totally ignoring their shaky foundation.
So, what do we actually mean when we say data integrity? Well, for AI, it's the guarantee that your data is accurate, that it's complete, that it's consistent, and most importantly, that it's fundamentally trustworthy. And this isn't just about a one-time check. It has to hold true across the entire AI lifecycle, from the second you collect that data to the final decision the AI helps you make. This is the very core of trustworthy AI.
Okay, so theory is one thing. But what happens in the real world when this foundation is just ignored? In this next section, we're going to look at some pretty high-profile and, frankly, painful examples of AI going terribly wrong.
These might ring a bell. Back in 2016, Microsoft unleashed its Tay chatbot on Twitter. In less than 24 hours, it was completely corrupted by toxic user data and started spewing all sorts of racist and offensive stuff. A total PR disaster. Then in 2018, Amazon had to scrap its own AI recruitment tool. And why? Because it was trained on historical hiring data that was already male-dominated, so the AI literally taught itself to be biased against women. These cases just go to show even the biggest tech giants are incredibly vulnerable.
And the fallout? Man, it goes so much further than just bad press. Bad data in AI leads to very real-world consequences. We're talking about serious ethical harm that amplifies existing societal biases. We're talking about huge decision risks, like faulty medical diagnoses or unfair loan denials. There are even security vulnerabilities where bad actors can literally poison your data. And that's not even mentioning the wasted investment and the risk of massive regulatory fines. The key takeaway here is that the stakes are just incredibly high.
Okay, that is enough of the doom and gloom. Let's pivot from the problem and start talking about the solution. This section introduces the core principles that really form the blueprint for building reliable, ethical, and, high-performing AI. To build that solid foundation we keep talking about, you really have to focus on these 6 dimensions of quality. Accuracy and completeness, those are pretty straightforward. Is the data right, and are there any big gaps? But it also has to be consistent. So for example, NY and New York are treated as the same thing. It needs timeliness, so it reflects what's happening now, not a year ago, and representativeness, so your data isn't skewed like that Amazon example we just saw. And finally, uniformity, to make sure everything's in a standard format. You have to get all 6 of these right. It's the only way to get to true data integrity.
Now, this is what I find really fascinating. It presents a clear strategic choice. Do you chase after the most complex, the most sophisticated algorithm you can find, or do you focus on getting your data right first?
Well, research from MIT Sloan is crystal clear on this one. Companies that prioritize data quality and integrity achieved 3 times better business outcomes. Just let that sink in for a second. Your real competitive advantage isn't going to come from the fanciest algorithm. It's going to come from having the best data.
So, how do you actually do this? Let's get practical. Drawing on frameworks from research firms like Virtualization Options LLC, they're a Colorado-based advisory group that builds these kinds of guides specifically for executives, we can lay out a clear, 4-step plan that any leader can champion.
Here it is. This is your roadmap. It all starts with Step 1, a really honest audit of where your data is today. Step 2 is to build a data strategy that is directly tied to your AI and business goals. Step 3 means putting the right automated tools in place for data governance. And finally, maybe the most important part, Step 4, you have to align your whole organization by fostering a culture that actually values data integrity and commits to getting better all the time. All right, for our final section, I want to reframe this whole conversation a little bit, because data integrity isn't just about playing defense and avoiding risk. It's really about playing offense and building a powerful, lasting strategic advantage. And this is where that investment really pays off. As you can see here, focusing on data integrity drives tangible, measurable results. You see dramatic improvements in your AI's accuracy, significant reductions in costly errors, and a huge boost in how much your users actually trust the system. This is the concrete return on investment you get from building on a solid data foundation. So let's be absolutely clear. Mastering your data integrity is how you win in the era of AI. It moves you way beyond just mitigating risk. It becomes the engine for building superior AI products that your customers, your employees, and even your regulators can actually trust. And that trust, that is the ultimate competitive advantage.
And so we end with a question, one for you to take back to your teams. I want you to look honestly at your organization's data. Is that foundation a strategic asset that's going to propel you forward? Or is it a hidden liability, a crack in the foundation, just waiting to undermine your most ambitious AI initiatives? The answer to that question is going to determine your future.